Hello everyone, this is Lincoln Prime, and today we'll be taking a look at the Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong figures. So today we'll be taking a look at the Heat Ray Godzilla, Battle Axe Kong, and Mechagodzilla. Now I do not have the packaging for these guys on me, I did get rid of them sadly, but instead I'll be putting up some images. So basically here is Godzilla's box, Kong's box, and Mechagodzilla's box. So anyways, moving right along, I will be taking a look first at the Heat Ray Godzilla. So moving these two out of the way. And this is a very nice detailed figure. For a kid's toy, this is very impressive. It has some nice gray dry brushing detail on the legs, arms, torso, and head, which is a little less visible, but it is there and it does look pretty good. The nails are also painted this dark green color for the toenails and for the fingernails. The inside of the mouth is painted. The tongue looks a little too bright to me. I feel like they could have used a darker shade of pink or even just like a maroon red. But the teeth are painted fairly decently, and the eyes are also painted facing straight forward, which is actually pretty impressive for a kid's toy. There is some blue paint on the tail, but I kind of wish this kind of would go all the way throughout the tail, but it's not a huge deal. And then the dorsal plates are this nice frosty blue. So when it comes to detail on this guy, that is about it. Articulation is another thing. There is nothing at the head, but there is articulation in the jaw, so the jaw opens up like that. And then the arms are on a swivel, so these can go all the way around full 360 like so on both sides. The legs are posable, so these could kick forward that far and back that far, and this one goes forward that much and back that much, so just a little bit more than this one. Then there's a ball joint at the tail, so basically this can go up, down, left, right, and all the way around like so. And that is about it for articulation on this guy. Some of the features he has two. So there is this part right here. There's a little tab that you just pull on, and this part comes off like so. And this is a battle damage feature, so there is some red that appears through this section underneath, and it has some nicely molded detail like a rib cage and some muscly detail, which looks really nice. And his other feature is he comes with an atomic breath piece, which, take note, Bandai, please, I want some more atomic breath pieces with my Godzilla figures for SH Monster Arts. But this is a very nice looking atomic breath piece. Basically there's a little ball joint looking thing right here, and there is a socket on the inside of the mouth. So basically this just goes inside like that and just pops in. Close the jaw, and that looks really nice like that. Now, while there are upsides to this figure, that does mean there is a downside. The only problem I have with him is the legs are a bit loose, especially this one right here. So these do kind of tend to wobble around a little bit, which is a little annoying. And when it comes to standing him up, depending on what surface you have him on, it might slide under a little bit due to the way it's molded. So if it kind of slides a little bit, it can topple over. It's not a huge deal, just depends on how you have him, but it's not the worst problem. And I guess maybe another thing is maybe just a little bit of paint scuffage, but nothing too bad to report there. So, but everything else on this figure is really good, so that was Godzilla. Now moving right along to the Kong figure. Now this is the best in terms of articulation. This has 17 points, which is very impressive for what it is. The detail looks very nice on this figure. There's some nice darkish brown that blends very well with this regular brown that it's molded in on the chest, face, hands, and feet. So that looks really good. There's some nice paint detail right here that they made look like scratches. The teeth are nicely painted, as well as the tongue, and the eyes aren't wonky looking, which is, good. There's also some black dry brushing on the fur, which looks really nice, and everything else, just the way it's sculpted, is very impressive in my opinion. In terms of articulation, basically there's a swivel at the head, so this could go all the way around like so. There's a hinge joint at the shoulder, so this could go up about that much and down about that much, all the way around like so. There's a swivel in here, so that could go all the way around, as well as a hinge joint in the elbow. Then there's a swivel in the wrist. So that's about it for the arm. For the leg, there's a swivel in the thigh like so. It could kick forward this much and back, not too much, and as well as a knee bend. And then it is the same thing on the other side. So articulation is pretty good, and you could get some really nice poses out of him. Forgive me. Now, Kong does have a battle damage feature, and it is right here on the shoulder. So basically, this part kind of pops off right here, and that comes off like that. And there's some nice red muscly detail right here on the inside, and that looks really good. And his second feature is he comes with his signature battle axe, which is painted in this really nice light dark blue right here. And basically the way this goes in is his hand is made out of the soft rubber, so kind of just flex that a little bit and pop this in like so, and you have him holding his battle axe, and that looks really nice. But yes, that is pretty much it for the Kong figure. I don't have many problems with him, but yeah, so that's about it. And moving along to the final figure, here we have Mechagodzilla, and all I have to say is yes, 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 yes. From head to toe, the detail on this guy is incredibly insane. It's like a mecha fan's dream. The molding on this guy looks absolutely phenomenal. The paint is also very well applied, basically right here on the chest with these red sections right here, and as well as the eyes, and even opening the mouth, some silver right here, and a bit of a spoil for one of the features, but this part comes off and there's some nice gunmetal gray, which is also used for the inside of the mouth, and that looks sick. So basically just popping that back on. But yeah, so just the amount of detail on this figure alone is insane. Playmates really went all out for this guy, and there's really no like major like issue I have with the look of this figure. There is one problem I do have though, and it is sadly similar to the Godzilla figure, but the legs are loose. That's a problem that I could probably fix, but it's a little stressful and makes it a little hard to pose. But I definitely had a really hard time trying to find this figure. This is one of the more popular figures, definitely hard to find, especially at Walmart's. But when I found this, I was really excited. In fact, you might have seen my video where I picked him up from the Walmart. But just in terms of detail and just everything else, this is the best figure in the Godzilla vs. Kong line. In terms of articulation, you have a hinge joint at the jaw, which allows it to go about actually that far, which is kind of disturbing actually. So that's pretty good. There is a hinge joint at the shoulder, so it could go up about that much, and also rotate back and forth like so. But if you wanted to, you could also rotate it around full 360 like that. There's nothing at the elbow or at the wrist, which is a little disappointing, but not too bad. At the leg, there is a hinge joint, which allows it to move up that far and also kick forward this much and back that much, which is really good. And then there's a hinge joint at the knee, as well as a swivel at the ankle. And then at the tail is at a ball joint. So basically this can go side to side, up, down, and all the way around, and the tail is also flexible as well. So that is really good. This has, I think, the best articulation when it comes to a figure with the same physique as Godzilla himself. And honestly, I don't have very many problems with this figure besides the loose legs, and just everything else on this figure is amazing. He does come with this heave or hollow earth vehicle, which there's not really much to talk about on it, but the detail looks pretty good on this little guy, and there's some silver paint for the windshield area. So he comes with that, and that looks pretty cool. His battle damage feature as well, which I already showed off, but basically this part pops off, and it looks like that, and that looks like that, but you already saw that. Pop that back on. But yeah, just detail is really good on this guy. Another cool feature is you could take the atomic breath piece from the Godzilla figure, open up his mouth, there's a little hole on the inside, and this just pops in like so. It is a bit of a looser fit, so it could pop out a little easily. Well, it's actually holding him pretty well on this guy. And then just close the jaw, and that looks pretty cool. Now, there is a new Mechagodzilla coming out, and it's the Battle Mechagodzilla with the Proton Scream. So basically, the atomic breath piece it comes with is red. My only problem with it is the gray is a little too dark. I definitely prefer the gray on this guy. It looks way better, but maybe they could have just transferred the color of this figure, gave him the transparent red dorsal plates and the atomic breath, and you have yourself more of an ultimate Mechagodzilla figure. But honestly, I definitely prefer this one, even though it doesn't come with an atomic breath piece. But it still is a very, very good figure in my opinion, and I do highly, highly recommend this figure if you're a collector or if you're a fan of Godzilla vs. Kong. But yeah, so that is about it for Mechagodzilla. You can also get them into the Kiryu pose. I don't have any action bases, so I'm just going to have to use my hands for this shot. But this does look pretty cool. Now for comparison, here we have the Playmates figures next to the NECA Burning Godzilla. Here we have next to a model kit, this is the high-grade Jesta. And finally, the Earthrise Optimus Prime from Netflix, which I will be doing a review on next. So anyways, guys, that is my review on the Playmates Godzilla vs. Kong figures of Kong with Battle Axe, Godzilla with Atomic Breath, and Mechagodzilla with Heave. These figures are pretty cheap for what they are. I picked these guys up for around like 10 to 12 bucks, so they're not very expensive for what they are. And honestly, just seeing this Mechagodzilla figure makes me really excited for that SH Monstars Mechagodzilla. But yeah, and these figures just look absolutely amazing with each other. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.